Have you ever trusted someone so completely that you'd never imagined they'd turn against you? I did. I loved her with everything I had, gave her my heart, my trust, even my home. And I thought she loved me too. But then, one afternoon, I walked into my own living room and froze. The walls, the furniture, even the place I called home, it wasn't mine anymore. She had taken it. All of it. Sounds impossible, right? I thought the same thing. My name is David Collins. I'm 38 years old and I live in Ohio, USA. I'm just a normal guy who worked hard, built my life brick by brick, and trusted the person I thought would never hurt me. I believed in honesty, fairness, and love, but life had a lesson waiting for me that I never saw coming. What happened next, it's not just a story about losing love. It's about betrayal, heartbreak, and finding a way to fight back when the world seems to be against you. And I promise you, by the end of the story, you'll feel every twist, every moment like it's happening to you. Let me take you there. I lived a life I thought was perfect. Emily and I shared a cozy suburban home in Ohio, the kind of place where kids laugh in the yard and neighbors wave hello. We had dreams we talked about every night, plans for vacations, savings goals, the little things that make life feel full. We shared everything from bills to bank accounts, and I trusted her completely. I thought our connection was unbreakable. Every morning, I'd make coffee while she got ready for work, and we'd talk about the future with excitement in our voices. I believed in us, in our honesty, and in the love we had built together. But life has a way of showing cracks where you least expect them. I started noticing little things, Emily handling paperwork late at night, phone calls she quickly hushed when I walked in. At first, I shrugged it off. Maybe she was stressed, I told myself. Maybe it was nothing. I loved my life. I loved my home. And I loved her. That love made me blind to the warning signs, and I had no idea how much everything I trusted was about to unravel. One afternoon, I decided to check the mortgage paperwork, just routine, nothing unusual. But when I opened the files, my hands froze. My eyes scanned the documents and my stomach dropped. The house, the place I thought I owned, was no longer in my name. It had been secretly transferred to Emily. Shock, disbelief, anger, heartbreak. The words tumbled inside me, but none could capture the cold, sinking feeling in my chest. How could she do this to me? Everything I built gone? I replayed every late-night call, every secretive glance, every time she whispered she was handling important paperwork alone. Was it all part of a plan? I realized the truth. Emily had been plotting this for months. There were subtle clues I'd missed, small things I'd brushed off, thinking I was overthinking. Maybe a friend in the legal office had quietly helped her. I remember the chill crawling up my spine, the room suddenly feeling colder, as if the walls themselves were mocking me. My heart raced with fear and disbelief. I felt trapped in a nightmare I couldn't wake from. Then she walked in, smiling casually as if nothing had happened. "Hey, what are you doing?" she asked, pretending to be normal. That smile, that calm tone. Everything about her was fake. She had been planning this, and she expected me to be blind to it. I wanted to scream, to throw the papers across the room, but I couldn't. Her manipulation was clear. She wasn't just hiding the house, she was testing me, controlling me. And in that moment, I felt utterly helpless. Yet beneath the shock, a spark ignited. I wasn't going to let this break me completely. But first, I needed to understand how deep her plan went. I couldn't just sit there and let this happen. I needed to understand what she had done, and if there was a way to fight back. Quietly, I started going through every financial record I could find, bank statements, investment accounts, anything that might give me a clue. Each page I turned felt like another stab in the heart. Every number reminded me of her betrayal, of the trust one had given so completely. But alongside the pain, there was a spark of hope. Maybe I still had a chance. Maybe this wasn't the end of the story. I reached out to a lawyer discreetly, someone I could trust to guide me through this without alerting her. As I laid out what I had discovered, a plan began to form. And then I found it. Hidden accounts, small sums tucked away where she thought I'd never look. Savings I didn't even know existed. Investments that could be traced and reclaimed. The emotional roller coaster was brutal. One moment, I felt overwhelming sadness and anger at the deceit. The next, a surge of determination and rising hope as the proof stacked in my favor. Every discovery was a mix of heartbreak and empowerment, a reminder that maybe justice was still possible. Then came the twist that changed everything. While reviewing the documents, I noticed something strange. Some of the papers Emily had submitted were forged. It wasn't obvious at first, but with careful comparison, the inconsistencies became clear. She had falsified a few critical documents, thinking I'd never notice. This revelation gave me leverage I hadn't even imagined existed. For the first time since discovering the betrayal, I felt a flicker of control. The scales were starting to tip. I could fight back, and the thought of her realizing she had underestimated me made my chest tighten with both anger and anticipation. Maybe, just maybe, I wasn't powerless after all. I knew confronting her directly wouldn't work. Emily was smart and manipulative. Any rash move could ruin everything. So, I focused on what I could control: strategy, patience, and the law. I began working closely with my lawyer, carefully filing evidence-based claims. Every document I submitted, every account I traced, every forged paper I proved, it all became a part of the arsenal I was quietly building. With each step, the tension in my chest grew. The legal process was slow. Every hearing felt like a test of endurance, and Emily began acting suspicious. Yet she still underestimated me, thinking I was paralyzed by betrayal. I spent hours poring over papers, drafting motions, and ensuring nothing could slip past us. The emotional strain was intense. One moment, I felt a surge of hope. The next, doubt and anxiety clawed at me. Each filing, each call with the lawyer made me wonder, would this actually work? Would I reclaim what was rightfully mine, or had I miscalculated everything? Then, just when I thought I had everything under control, Emily made a bold move. She attempted to sell the house before the court hearing. Panic surged through me for a split second, but I didn't show it. I acted fast, instructing my lawyer to file a last-minute legal injunction. The court froze the sale just in time, and the house remained ours for now. That moment was a turning point. Emily's overconfidence was her weakness. She thought she could outsmart me, but she didn't know I had been planning every step, waiting for the perfect moment to act. The stakes were higher than ever, and the suspense was unbearable. Every second felt like it could make or break everything I had worked for. Court day arrived, and my stomach churned with a mix of anxiety and anticipation. Every step into the courtroom felt heavier than the last, the air thick with tension. Emily sat across from me, calm on the surface, but I could see the flicker of uncertainty in her eyes. As my lawyer began presenting the evidence, I felt my heart race. Hidden accounts, forged documents, proof of everything she had tried to hide. Each revelation landed like a thunderclap. The room went quiet, everyone leaning in to take in the truth. I had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times, but nothing prepared me for the emotional surge of finally seeing justice unfold. I kept reminding myself internally I never wanted to fight her, but I couldn't let betrayal take everything from me. Today it ends. Every word spoken, every paper laid out, was my voice saying that I would not be defeated. Then came the moment that changed everything. The judge, reviewing the documents, looked directly at Emily and ruled in my favor. The property transfer was reversed. Hidden assets were recovered. And my future, my finances, my home, my life, were legally protected. The courtroom seemed to exhale with me. Relief, satisfaction, and justice mingled in a wave I had waited months to feel. The twist wasn't just in the documents, it was in the triumph, in finally reclaiming what was mine while seeing her overconfidence crumble. This was more than a victory. It was validation that patience, strategy, and truth always find their way. Walking back into my home, everything felt different. The walls, the furniture, even the air seemed charged with a mix of relief and quiet reflection. I had reclaimed what was mine, but the experience had changed me in ways no victory could erase. I thought about trust, how fragile it is, how easily it can shatter, and how deeply it cuts when broken. The grief for what I lost lingered, but alongside it was a quiet pride. Pride in my perseverance, in the patience and strategy that allowed me to fight back without losing myself. As I settled into the living room, I couldn't help but wonder, have you ever faced betrayal? How would you fight back if someone you trusted tried to take everything from you? This story is just one of the many where betrayal meets justice. And believe me, there are more tales where trust is broken, hearts are shattered, and revenge finds its way. Stories that remind us, sometimes the darkest moments bring out the most unexpected triumphs,